Hello, beautiful people of the world. I hope you are doing so well today. I wanted to take a minute to reflect on the first video that I posted here on my Tough Love channel, and that was the one, Tough Love Life Lessons, featuring my brother and shoe designer and influencer at Johnny's Kicks. He talked a lot about in his story, and go ahead and check that out if you haven't. It's a really great video, but he talked a lot about in his story around the shift that took place in him, or how the shift that took place in him around his own limiting beliefs and finally stepping into his power and stepping into believing in himself, how that shifted the way he approached his business and how he was able to successfully launch and sell out of 5 different sneaker releases. And so I wanted to just, sometimes it's overwhelming. It's like you say, believe in yourself, but how do you really go about moving the needle from self-doubt and fear and not feeling enough or being a perfectionist? How do you shift that mentality to one of feeling unstoppable and excited and passionate about life and driving forward to your goals with clarity and confidence? How do you actually make that happen for yourself? So I've definitely struggled with this in the past. I, for a long time, wanted to be a life coach and always felt I'm too young, or I don't have my life together enough. How could I advise others? Or other people's voices in my head saying, "Oh, no, you're not. You're too young. You need to do this before you can do that." And I let those limiting beliefs really stop me from pursuing my life coaching dream for a long time. But there were certain things and actions that I took to get me to a place where I finally felt confident in order to pursue my dreams. And I wanted to just share those with you in the hopes of maybe being helpful. That's always the goal, right? To be helpful. What would be really helpful for me if you just take a second and subscribe, like this video, and hit the notification bell just so that you're up to date on all the latest content, and also would just help me have more people see this video. So I really appreciate you doing that. With that, let's dive into the first thing. And before we start, I do want to say, suffering ends when meaning begins. I am a true believer in understanding you and your purpose and having that be the driving force in your life. So my first tip here is remind yourself of who you are. In order to do that, you'll need to reflect a little bit. You'll need to ask yourself, gosh, what did I love doing as a kid? What do I love spending my time doing? When have those times been in my life where I've been working on something and I'm working crazy hours, or I'm throwing myself into this, but it doesn't feel like it because I'm enjoying what I'm doing so much? Identify a couple of those things. It could be at work, at school, in your personal life, wherever. But identify a few of those moments and projects and take a minute to truly reflect on them and ask yourself, what was I doing? What type of work? Who was I helping? Those kind of questions will start you thinking on what really your purpose is, what drives you individually. And once we kind of remind ourselves of who we are, I think it helps us, build a little bit of confidence in ourselves and a little belief in ourselves. You also can consider, if you're having a hard time with this, asking people close to you and say, hey, do you remember a time when I was super excited about something? Or, what would you hire me to do? What do you value in me? And just see what they come back with. One time I did that and I texted a bunch of different people from work, from personal life, and it was a really inspiring exercise. So I really encourage you to consider doing that. So I would also understand when you're getting a little bit more familiar with who you are, it's really, 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 really important for believing in yourself to understand why you're not believing in yourself right now. Is it because you feel inadequate? Is it because you don't know enough? Is it because your parents or your boyfriend or girlfriend think that you can't do it? You know, have you had a negative experience in the past where someone was telling you that you shouldn't? Like in my case, you know, someone's telling me, no. Are those voices driving your behavior? Because we got to cut that out right now. You will not go through life living in fear. Okay, let's stop there. Like, no. So understanding what story you're telling yourself, or what voice is driving your limiting beliefs there, we need to address that. Okay, so the second thing here is really getting grounded in your personal point of view. It wasn't until I realized the type of life coach that I wanted to be that I ended up starting to feel confident about it. And this whole tough love really resonated with me and my personal brand of coaching. Not that I'm a little tough, but really to me it's about asking the tough questions and addressing the hard truths. And to me that's what tough love is about. But it was really understanding what makes me as an individual unique. Because sometimes I used to think, gosh, well, there's so many coaches out there. Does there really need to be another coach? But I would tell my now self, absolutely, because one, there's tons and tons of different locations, different cities. Each city has its own unique flavor and needs these type of roles in that city. But also, I am a unique person with a unique perspective. I have a whole different career than most coaches do, probably. I have a different educational background. I have a different perspective. I have a different style. I have a different focus. I use different tools and techniques than others might. So it's really getting grounded in your personal perspective and what makes you, your art, your craft unique. What styles do you like? You know, getting all that honed in and together really helps build the confidence in knowing, yeah, I got this. I do have a unique perspective. And I will say, just in general, if you get stuck on comparing yourself to others like I have in the past, something that really helps me is the understanding that comparison is the thief of joy. We have to stop comparing ourselves to others. We're each unique with unique gifts, and how we give those gifts to the world, that is what makes us so special. So I would just encourage you to be thinking about yourself as a unique individual with unique thoughts and ideas and perspectives, and trying to package that in a way that's helpful for you. Okay, the third thing, and this is really important, is setting a vision for your life. You know, you can close your eyes and you can think about when you're 80 years old and you look back on your life. You know, what did you accomplish? What were the exciting moments that you cherished when you're old? You know, what does that vision look like for you? How do you imagine living? How do you imagine interacting with your family? How do you imagine your career to have been? These are really important questions, and there's tons of visualizations on YouTube that you can find that will help you get into that space of visualization. I really recommend it because it's something that you can center back to when you're having a moment of self-doubt or limiting beliefs. You can center back on that vision and realize, no, that's how I want my life to be, and I need to continue pursuing it so that I can get there. Next is really invest in yourself. For me, I deeply knew, and I think this is why I kept those limiting beliefs in my head for so long, is that I deeply knew that I didn't have all the resources and the education in terms of my own self-awareness enough to help other people become self-aware. So I enrolled in a degree program that I knew would help me personally and professionally. And yes, it was a little expensive, but it was so worth it because it truly pushed me and it really was transformational. If you're going to invest in yourself, really do so in the smartest way possible, or, you know, considering your budget and your income and all that stuff. But getting the education, getting the resources, the community, find a mentor, you know, YouTube it. Like, there's tons of ways to find information. Read, go to the library, borrow books, you know, ask friends. Gather the resources and tools that you need on your journey to hone that craft. For me, I remember when I started doing makeup all these years ago, I had to invest in a really nice brush set because I knew that that was going to be critical to me performing my task the best that I could. So it's just finding what the essentials are for what you want to do and just investing in those. And those can continuously improve as you grow your business. Next, and this is really important, ask yourself, what is worse? Acting or looking like a fool temporarily as you learn your craft, or living a very unfulfilled life? Honestly, it's as simple as that. If you don't believe in yourself and you're frozen in fear of looking like a fool or not having the perfect thing or feeling inadequate, years and years are going to pass you by while other people around you are pursuing their goals and dreams, and you're stuck, frozen in fear that you're going to look foolish. When you put it like that, it just seems silly. It just seems silly. I think especially, it just seems like the world is getting, well, on some ways it feels like the world is getting nicer, and on other hands it's getting nastier. But I think in terms of people supporting people towards their goals, I'm feeling like social media is really helping with allowing people to be creative and promote themselves and their work in a way that others get on board and can support. And I think if we just spread a little love and we just believe in ourselves enough to get our content or our stuff out there, I really truly think that people want to help good people. And so I would rather look a little bit like a fool for a little bit of time until I, find the right things, than live an unfulfilled life, wishing that I had started years and years and years ago, and wishing and thinking, gosh, what would have happened if? I don't want to know. I don't want a what if you ask me personally. That's just not for me. Lastly, to really build confidence, and you just have to do it. You just have to start. You just have to begin. And I think this holds a lot of people back, and it's held me back in the past, where you realize the journey ahead can be very, very, very long. And you're looking at the path thinking, there's no way I can, run 50 miles or whatever it is, or climb this giant staircase, or, whatever it is for you. But the thing is, you just have to start one little step at a time. You don't have to run 50 miles in one go. You just literally start with 1 mile, and then you do 1.5 miles. You know what I mean? Like, that's how these things happen. And it's having a plan in place that's really critical. So, as part of my coaching business, I help clients strategize and execute their ideal vision. So if this is something that you struggle with, let me know. Reach out. There's the Tough Love quick intro call link below. Feel free to reach out and schedule some time with me, and we can chat about how you might need support. But having a plan set to your vision is really, really critical, and having measures in place to track your progress. Really, really important. But anyway, I hope that this video has given you 1 or 2 things that you can do today that will help you build your confidence and start minimizing some of those negative voices in your head. Anyway, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Once again, if you could subscribe, like this video, I would so appreciate your support. You all have a good one. Bye.